Hello, my name is Rodney. I'm from the pOedGamerQuehegan YouTube channel, and today I am doing another of my gaming memory episodes. And this is probably where I should have started, because this is, I believe, this may be the first console I ever owned. After this, somebody gave me an Atari 2600 after they realized how much I liked gaming, and the game console I'm talking about is the NES, the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Some people call it the NES. I never have. I've always called it the NES. This console, this is the original console that I grew up with. I've had it ever since the mid 80s, I believe. And this is in the bottom, 1985. That's the copyright, so I'm not really sure if that's the one, if that means that's the year that came out, or if that's just the year they copyrighted the thing. I kind of remember getting this. I don't remember. I want to say it was given to us at night. Remember, this happened in the 80s, like when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. So I cannot really remember a lot of it, but I remember getting it. I remember it being hooked up for us. I do remember it's nighttime. I don't remember if it was one of our birthdays. I don't remember if it was Christmas, or if it was just like Thursday. I just don't remember. That's the part I don't remember. But I remember us playing Super Mario World, because we didn't have the dual cart of Super Mario World and Duck Hunt. We just had Super Mario World. And we also had pro wrestling, because my dad and everybody knew that me and my brother were huge wrestling fans. I mean, we loved wrestling so much. I mean, I remember the original WrestleMania. I remember WrestleMania 3 when Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant. It's always been part of my life. So that's one of the things that's one of the games they're probably like, yeah, we should probably get them this game. But I remember playing pro wrestling with my brother, and like I said, I've actually done a game memories video on pro wrestling, that game, and it was so good. And us playing this, I mean, I remember me and my brother playing Double Dribble. We would set the game on the longest time you could go on and play each other. And we loved it. My brother still enjoys sports games. Me, not so much. I've gotten more into other types of games now. But it's one of those things that this right here started my gaming. It started my obsession with gaming. It was, the controllers. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a thing that says that you can always tell if somebody's a gamer or not because of the way their thumb is. If their thumb is smooth, they're not a gamer. If there's a point on their thumb, like where their knuckle sticks out, that means they are a gamer, because they've held a controller like this, and that's made that joint stand up more. I have no idea if that's true, but I remember in school, some of the girls that didn't play games, theirs would be smooth, and almost every boys the girls had more of an arch, and the guys would always have that point. I don't know. It may have been that boys have a point there, and girls is more of an arch. I'm not sure. My wife, she actually plays video games, and hers doesn't arch. It has more of a point. So that's just something that I was always told growing up. I have no idea who told me that. It may have been one of my classmates, and they'd been lying. I don't know. I could look it up, but that would actually require me preparing for this video a little bit more than I did. But yeah, some of the things about the console, I remember that drove me and my brother crazy. Once we got a game working, I remember when we got Ghosts and Goblins. Once we, because like it takes forever to get something working in this console. When you put it in, you slide the game in, and you have to push it down. And the thing is that the connectorness wasn't the best. So you would put it in, and sometimes it wouldn't work. I mean, it's like, oh crap! So you pull the game out, you blow on the cartridge, put it back in. Water, moisture and electronics. That's all great, right? And try to turn it back on. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And sometimes it would take forever to get a game to play. And when you got to play, you left that game in until you really wanted to play something else. Like today, you switch games out very quickly. You're like, oh, I'm playing whatever. I don't know, 2 or 3 hours later, you're like, yeah, I don't want to play anymore. I want to play something else. So you just put a new game in. Well, it wasn't that easy. Changing a game meant you took the game out, put a new game in. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, put it in. No, hit reset. You're constantly doing that, and pulling the game out, blowing in the cartridge, taking a Q-tip, cleaning the contacts. And I actually had a cleaner at the time, and I would use it. And the games didn't have that much dirt on them. I know some people they took sandpaper to the contacts a little bit to clean them. I was like, no, do not do that. So yeah, I really didn't I didn't lend out my games because I was afraid somebody tried to take sandpaper to the contacts to clean them. But yeah, some people say even today, some people say you can do that. No, I'll use alcohol. Like some people use Windex. There's like contact cleaners you can get that electricians use, but it's kind of expensive and hard to find. But yeah, that was my memories with the system. I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying not to be specific about one video game. Just kind of like my memories about this. I do remember getting the Power Glove for this. I had that thing, and I remember trying to play Super Mario World, and putting that thing on my TV. And that today, I think if I used it, I would understand, because I know now it uses I think it's a high frequency, and the 3 little things on your TV, it guides it. And I didn't realize that at the time. I was just like, it's not working, and I wasn't pointing at the screen. But yeah, there's an aftermarket controller I had. It was blue, and it actually had turbo fire on it, or auto fire, turbo fire, because it only worked when you held the button down. And my brother, when we were playing some games, he would watch it to make sure I didn't flip those switches on, because it didn't have 2 buttons. It actually had a switch you could turn on to make it go. Like it had 3 positions. One were just normal. Second, it would kind of like you were touching like this. And the third switch, it was just like you were pounding the button. And my brother, every time, like if I was starting to win, he'd look over to make sure I wasn't using that turbo fire on it. But some games, me and my brother both used that controller, like for Fester's Quest, because sitting there tapping the button to make Fester shoot, that was it really would hurt your thumbs. Then there was like with what was some of the other games that we used it with? I can't like right now. I'm trying to think, and I'm just like But yeah, the rest, like pro wrestling, you could use it. Just turn it on and just hold the buttons, and you would win quite a bit. But yeah, the normal NES controller, if you haven't seen it, it's just a square. It's a rectangle, and I'll put a picture of it up just so you can see what it looks like. I'm pretty sure you've seen it. There's a lot of like cell phone cases that look like it. Actually, the controller I think is smaller than my cell phone right now. I've got one sitting over here. Nah, I'm just like I think I got one over there somewhere. But yeah, it's actually I'll grab it really quickly. The joys of being prepared for these videos. Alright, so this is the NES controller. Like I said, it is a lot smaller than my cell phone. So when you played it, like this is the reason why people said that the whole thing with your knuckles and how they'd stick up. It's because you actually played it like this. When you played it like this, you did pull your thumbs back. There's also the light gun. The light gun would annoy the crap out of you after a while because every time you pull the trigger, it makes this noise. That will drive you crazy. Especially if you're playing a game where you're constantly going. I remember like sometimes like, you could hear this in other rooms. And like we had this one game, I think it's called Gumshoe. And basically if you shot the character on the screen, it'd make him jump. Well, things are flying towards him, so you're constantly going click, 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 click. And oh man, there's like one part in the game to where you make him stay at the top of the screen and there's this potion drops out and you get it. Well, if you get like 4 of them, your character turns a different. Well, if you get one, I think he turned green. If you got like 4 of them, you turned pink, and he could take a lot more hits then, because it's one hit kill unless you got that potion. But oh man, it was so annoying. So that when you use this thing, and even if you're playing it, sometimes it would give you a headache, and you'd stop just because of how loud it was. I remember some people said that there was actually a thing. This is the original one. It's the gray one, because later on they made it. They changed the gray to orange because they said it looked too much like a real gun. I mean, I can kind of understand that, but I mean, if you're passing by and you see somebody pointing that at you, it would probably startle you. But yeah, the NES has this connector. It's actually, most consoles at that time, they all use the same, it's like the same like 9-pin connector, I think. Basically what the Sega Genesis used, because the Atari used it, the Sega Master System used it, Sega Genesis used it, and I think they even used it on the Atari 7800. I think the ColecoVision and all of them, pretty much, you can plug a Sega Genesis controller and it works on all of them, which is great if you're trying to play some of the old Atari games. But yeah, but by modern standards, this controller, I mean, you have just B and A, you have your D-pad, and you have select start. Not many buttons, but back then, that's really all you needed. You had punch, kick, jump, run, whatever these 2 buttons were. Your start was pause, and select just, I mean, some games used select, some of them didn't. Some games, I'm trying to remember, there was this one game that used it as a 3rd button, and I think it's a game we rented that we didn't have the manual for, and we just couldn't figure out how. There's this one move you're supposed to be able to do, and we just couldn't figure out how to do it. And I can't remember if it was me or my brother. We hit the button by accident, and it did it. And we're like, whoa, that's how you do it. And we couldn't figure out how we did it. And again, one of us hit it by accident, and it did it again. And we finally figured out, oh, select is an actual button that's used during gameplay. So basically, you either had to, when you're playing, you had to move your finger over like that and do it, or take your finger off the D-pad and do it. And if you're playing a game where you need to move a lot, you don't want to take your finger off the D-pad. So that was one thing. The limitation of the buttons was kind of annoying, but those games, most of the games are so simple, you didn't really need that. Another thing about the light gun, like most people have played Duck Hunt. If you have found a way to play it. It's really fun. Basically, there's these ducks come up and you shoot the ducks, and if you miss them, this dog laughs at you, and people over time grew to hate that dog because of that laugh. I actually got the amiibo for the dog that came out for Smash Brothers. I actually got it just because I spent so much time trying to shoot that friggin' dog. And you can't shoot the dog. You'll just waste your bullets trying to do it. But you get 3 bullets to shoot both of the ducks. So yeah, it was actually spent a lot of time playing that. Something I never knew, but evidently if you hold this to a light, you'll never miss. I had no idea about that. My brother didn't know about it. If he did, he'd have probably cheated and done it. But so yeah, it's a something very interesting that people found that out. I'm trying to figure out how did the first person to find that out that pointed it at a light bulb was like, I wonder if this will work. There's a lot of things like that I always think about. But yeah, the NES, I spent a lot of time with this system, and a lot of people over the years they play it. They got very familiar with it, knew its ins and outs, how to get games to work. Like some NESs, there's actually a play like mine. You can't push the game all the way in and then push it down. You actually, when you put it in, you have to pull it back just a little bit before you push down. And that generally, when you found the sweet spot, and you got pretty good at hitting it. It'd take you a few, like maybe 1 or 2 times, and you could do it. But it was something I always loved. This system, it's very near and dear to my heart. And the fact that I still have my original one really brings me a lot of joy. So yeah, the NES, if you've never played it, I highly recommend. I can't really say I recommend getting one. The top loader is better, but it only has RF out, and that's a really shoddy connection. It's not very clear. But the mini Nintendo, or mini NES, or whatever they're calling it, that's coming out pretty soon, I highly recommend getting that. It's $60. You got 30 games. It's awesome. It's a small one of these, and you get a controller that you can play. I mean, it doesn't have this plug on it, but it's just a regular, but it's a NES controller, and it's good for people that never experienced the NES growing up, or if you're just like, say you played it when you were younger and you want to see your kids to play with the games you played. It has a lot of things on it. If you still have your NES and you have kids, break it out. Show them the games you played. If you played Mario or Castlevania, things like that, put it in. 8-bit games are pretty popular right now. So they may actually like it. I know some people say, no, my kids wouldn't like something like that. You never know. Try it. But yeah, I always thought there's this one thing here. I'm not really sure what this is for, because I always see that on the bottom of all these consoles, and they always have the plate on it. There's nothing there. It's just a piece of plastic. So I don't know if that was an add-on port or what. Maybe it's to put the RF adapter on. I don't really know, because the RF adapter does have 3 cables coming out of it, I think. Yeah, so there's one cable. There's a screw on the bottom. There's the cable that comes out the side, and there's the other cable that goes to your TV. That'd be an awfully short cable. Okay, you could do it, but I don't know. Yeah, because that just goes out, and the other thing would plug in there. I don't know, but that's kind of a bit of a mystery on me. I've always wondered what that port was for. If any of you guys know what that port is for, leave a comment, tell me what it is, so I can actually research it. But pretty soon I'm going to start coming out with some more videos for the NES, like more game memories. I think me and my brother had close to 50 games growing up. So that's a lot of memories I have. And they're all with this one console. And actually this specific one, because me and my brother played the crap out of this one. And I'm surprised that the text on all the stuff is still on it. That's crazy, because I know most people broke the doors and everything, but somehow me and my brother didn't break it, and my brother is very destructive. But hope you guys are enjoying it. That's just my experiences with the NES, just talking about it and pretty much rambling on here for a while. Hope you enjoyed it, and till next time. Thank you for watching my video. If you liked the video, go ahead and give me a like. If you'd like to see more from me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I release at least 2 videos a week. Most of the time I release more. Leaving a comment actually helps me a lot. It helps me know what you'd like, dislike, or would like to see on my channel. So go ahead and leave me a comment. If you would like to get in touch with me, have any questions, anything like that, you can go ahead and email me at vmail@pOedGamer.com. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time.